Stress Management 101. Today we are going to be talking about ways to best handle stress, okay? This is one of the first things I teach people. So when you're learning how to build confidence, basically you're learning how to overcome stress. You're learning how to overcome, fears, anxiety, all these other different feelings that come up. So I have a specific methods that I teach called the LWRS system, right? And I'm just going to go over that today to help you all understand and maybe identify what's stressing you out, what's bothering you. And maybe you understand and you know what it is, but maybe you just don't know how to overcome that. So today, we're going to give you a few tips. I'm going to show you all what I teach, and I just hope that it can help somebody, right? So we're just going to jump right on into it. And I'm hoping y'all can see my board. So I'm trying like something new today. So I'm hoping y'all can see my board. And if y'all can't see my board, let me know in the comments, but just kind of follow along with me today. And we're going to work on that and get better. Okay. So the first thing I want to tell y'all is the LWRS system consists of two different sides. So we have what I like to call the positive aspect, which is why you see it written in blue over here. And then we have the negative aspect of the LWRS system, which is what you see over here in the red. Now, the first thing we do is we always want to identify what you're dealing with first. So what's causing you to be to where you feel like you're lacking confidence. So it's something that's keeping you from being confident. So we have people, I always teach this, and I have a lot of people that say, oh, I'm confident, I know what it is, and then we start going through this exercise, and then you're like, oh, okay, well, that's why, I need to work on that area better, right? Because let's face it, a lot of times we just don't understand why we're not overcoming, our goals, why we're not being able to capture our dreams and our visions. So this system right here that I'm going to teach y'all today is something that I teach no matter where I go. This is the first thing that I actually teach when you enroll in my program, which is my Each One Motivates One program. This is the very first thing we go over and we learn. And I'm going to teach you all this right here, but totally free. All right. So today we're going to tell you. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with the red aspect, which is the negative aspect, right? So what we're doing right here is the LWRS on the negative aspect stands for living with real situations. So what that means is over here, we want to identify what real life situations are you dealing with. So with that being said, when we're talking about what real life situations that you're dealing with, this can be, maybe you're lacking confidence right now because, your environment, meaning, you're not where you want to be. Like you're not where you want to stay at. Every time you go outside, it's aggravating, it's frustrating, it's looking depressing. Maybe it's family issues, right? So, and I'm just going to stop and talk on this for a second. So when we talk about family issues, a lot of people are dealing with that nowadays. So I want to go over this real quick. This is one of the main things that a lot of people nowadays face is family issues. Because let's face it, I'm in my 40s. So I can remember growing up, and me and my cousin and all of us, we always got together. We was always over grandma's house, right? I'm talking about, y'all, we was making patios. We would be on the floor. I don't care if grandma had only like a peanut butter and jelly to make us, which we know grandmas didn't do that back in the days, right? Grandmas had meals. They made meals out of nothing. I'm talking about they made meals out of rice. They made meals out of beans, right? But they also made sure that we was a family, that we was a unit. And what we're seeing nowadays is that a lot of that is leaving. So we don't have too much family no more, where we actually have families coming together, where we actually have families having sleepovers, right? Where everybody knows who their cousins is, right? Where everybody grew up around their aunties and uncles. So what happens with that is a lot of depression comes with that, a lot of stress. A lot of times we don't even understand that that's what that can be sometimes, that we're dealing with family issues until we sit down and we break down and we really get to the root of why you feel the way you feel. Because like I always teach, it is something in the LWRS system, right? The negative category. So this is the first part we go over first, is the negative. So like I said, so it can be environment issues, it can be family issues, it can be financial issues, right? So I want to talk about this. So this is a big one. It's financial issues. A lot of people lack confidence because guess what? We don't know how to come up or how to seek out the resources that we need to become financially independent. So what we do is, by us lacking the knowledge and not seeking it out, we lack confidence, because we like, you know what? All these people come from over here from different countries and they give them all these loans. And I hear this a lot. They give them all these loans and they do all this for them. And we from here and we don't get nothing. So what a lot of people don't understand is, and I just want to get this tip out here for anybody listening, right? Is that if you're a minority owned business, right? Or a minority owned, right? Meaning that you're not white. Okay. So if you're not white, you're a minority. That's what they consider a minority, right? You automatically qualify for certain financial gains, right? For certain loans, for certain grants. Also, if you are a woman, all right, if you are a woman, they have grants and loans out there specifically for women. Okay. So a lot of times, and I'm talking about, we're not even just talking about to help with overcoming, financial issues when it comes to your, trying to make it as an entrepreneur. I'm talking about they have these also if you're having financial issues in your personal life. So always reach out, right? And see what options that you have. But a lot of us, we're scared to reach out and see because we're comfortable with where we're at, right? So we're going to go over these things too, as well, more deeply. But I just want to write out a few that I know that tend to stand out just about 90% of the time. These are why people lack confidence, right? And so let's go to the other one. So maybe you're having some relationship issues, right? Relationship issues. Now, relationship issues is a big one as well, because let's face it, when you're doing anything in life, right? I don't care what you're doing, you always want the person that you're calling your significant other, the person that you're leaning on, that you're in a relationship. You definitely want their support. So nowadays, the reason why we're seeing a lot of relationship issues is, let's face it, a lot of people don't even realize what relationships are no more, right? So we don't really have that strong bonded relationship like we had back in the days. We have some people in relationships for financial gain. We have some people in relationships just to be in it, right? And some people just like, you know what, whatever. They want to be side pieces and, or just cheating. Or some people think men ain't good and some men think women ain't good, and whatever the case may be, right? But me, we have relationship issues, right? So that can be a major issue if you're trying to be an entrepreneur, right? If you're trying to, let's say if you have this main job and you applying and you like, you know what, I got to do this training for it and all this, and then now all of a sudden you and your significant other, y'all arguing every day, right? Y'all fussing and fighting every day. Do you think that's going to have an impact on your confidence on you taking that training? Yes, whether you, without a doubt. So unconsciously, it will have an effect. Now, I'm not saying that you won't pass the course. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is it will take your confidence level from here and it'll start dropping it down a little bit. Whereas if you had somebody where you came home and you was doing this training, that was like, come on, baby, let me help you. What you doing? You need help? And they just like helping you and pushing you and telling you how proud of you they are. Guess what that's going to do? That's going to amp you up. Right? So how many women out there are men that I have that's whoever it is, drop it in the comments if like you get hyped when your significant other. So if you're a man, you get hyped when your woman telling you like, baby, you know what? I love that you're doing that. That looks good. But you need me help? Anything I can help you with? How does that make you feel, right? That makes you feel good, as that makes anybody feel good. So, and on the flip side, if somebody's always down in everything you do. Like, well, I don't know about that. I don't know why you're doing it like that, because I don't think that's going to work, or I don't think the people really want to hear nothing you got to say. On the flip side, what's that's going to do as well? That's going to start making your confidence level go down as well. So we talk about things of that nature as well when we're talking about negative aspects of the LWRS system, right? So now, we also talk about, when we talk about family issues and environment, financial issues, relationship issues, we also talk about simple as you're saying pet issues, right? Now I want to talk about this. A lot of people think, well, pet issues don't like your couch. Yes, it will, right? We have people out here that are like pet lovers. They love pets, right? So if their dog is not feeling well, guess what? They won't feel well. So these are just some of the things that we go over to help people understand why they're lacking their confidence. So let's just talk about these for a moment, right? So let's dive in with these things right here. So we have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My bad, y'all. I hope y'all can see this. So we have 5 different issues that we're gonna talk about before we get over here to the positive aspect of it. So now, environment. The reason why we talk about environment, we talk about the LWRS system. So I always ask, so we start off with an assessment that I always have people do. And the reason why I do that, because I ask people, I love asking people, how confident are you? Because 9 times out of 10, a lot of people feel like they're confident. And I love that, right? Because most of us are confident in our own way. So let me say that. A lot of people don't understand what kind of confidence it takes when you're trying to accomplish goals. A lot of people don't understand what kind of confidence it takes when you're trying to get that new position. A lot of people don't understand what kind of confidence it takes when you're trying to take your relationship or anything to the next level, right? That requires a different level of confidence, okay? So when we're talking about environment, you might be like, yeah, you know what? Shoot, I'm the man. Like, I don't care. Like, my environment that I'm around all the time, ain't nobody gonna shoot. They love me out here, right? But then, now, now, some of these things, now, these ain't gonna apply to everybody. So I just want to make sure that we clear that these don't apply to everybody, but I want to go over these for the ones that it do apply to, right? So it's different ways to look at these, but I'm just going to talk about these in one specific way today, okay? So environment, like I say, some people think that, well, guess what? They're confident because the environment that they're always in. Now, let me keyword. The environment that they're always in is, they like, people love me there. Ain't nobody gonna mess with me. Shoot, what? I'm me, right? But on the flip side, if I start asking them and get deeper and say, okay, well, tell me about where you see yourself. Like, if you can live anywhere in your life, like, close your eyes. And I want you all to do this, right? So just close your eyes for a minute and just think of the environment that you have for yourself. That's like the perfect environment that you want to live in, right? So just think about that for a minute. Let's do that. So I already know mine, right? The environment that I want to be in, right, is, oh my gosh, it smells good. It looks good. That's it, right? So now open your eyes. So I'm going to ask you this simple question. So I love doing this exercise. So now I ask people, okay, so tell me about the environment that you see yourself in. Like, if you can be in any environment, tell me about it. What environment would that be? And then what happens is people start going into this big old spiel about the environment and how the trees will smell and about, the house and, they'll name and they'll go into detail. But then when I ask a simple question, what steps are you taking to get to accomplish that goal, right? Meaning, what steps are you taking to get in that environment, to remove yourself out of the environment that you're in now and put yourself in that environment? I don't know, which shouldn't be surprising to most of you. A lot of people feel like they're stuck in their environment. A lot of people feel like they are stuck in their environment, right? Like, shoot, I can't do that. I ain't gonna get no help. Ain't nobody, shoot, I don't know where to go. I ain't got no car. Like, you know what I mean? Like, these are the responses that I get. And I call them excuses, right? Because let's face it, a lot of people don't have cars. They don't have all these different things, but a lot of these same people still get to the clubs. A lot of these same people still manage to get wherever they really put their mind to going. So if it's something that they really want to do, guess what? They're doing it, right? They find a way to get something to drink. They find a way to find something to smoke, right? So let me explain something. This is why I go over one of the things right here is environment. I speak heavy on environment because a lot of people feel like they stuck in their environment, right? Meaning we have people that feel like, this is where I'm gonna be at for the rest of my life, which is why we have so many people so confident and claiming different like neighborhoods. Now, if you're from somewhere, yes, you're from somewhere, but to be comfortable to be in the same neighborhood that you was that born in until you pass away is, to me, it's crazy. I don't care who you are. right? I don't care what, and you should always aspire to do more or better, unless you were just born in like the best environment possible, right? Which is unheard of, right? Anybody can always prosper. You can always grow. So let me just take some drink right here for a minute. So we talk about environment. A lot of people feel like they stuck in their environment. No, I tell people all the time, and we go over different exercises and I teach on how you can get out of your environment. But the first thing that we teach is that you have to start believing it, right? And that's when we get over here into the positive aspect of it. So we'll go over that in a minute, right? So a lot of people feel like they stuck in their environment because they don't have no help. They don't have a babysitter. They don't have a car. But I'm going to tell you this. If you one of them people that feel like that, but yet you can make your way to go out sometimes. You can make your way to party sometimes, to get a bottle sometimes, to roll up sometimes, to find some weed, whatever the case may be, right? If that's you, then guess what? Your environment can change, right? I don't care what it is. That means that the time that we're finding to go out, we have to put that time into doing something else, right? The time that we're saying that we don't have a babysitter, we have to look into resources that's out here. We actually have a resource now, like I think it's Revive Nonprofit. They're actually coming up with something now, and it's other organizations like this. So it's an organization that I'm heavily affiliated with. Like I love volunteering for these guys. They're called Revive Nonprofit. They're actually coming out with a program where parents, if you're feeling stressed out or you just need a break, you can actually drop your youth off, right? And go do whatever it is you need to do. So that is one of the ways to take away that excuse of, well, I'm not going to have a babysitter to get out there to search, or I don't have a babysitter to get the resources, or, that takes away that. I don't have a car. Well, a lot of y'all, did you know that if you get on Metro, now, I don't know if they're in all neighborhoods, right? So call Metro and see what neighborhoods they're doing this in. But a lot of people don't even know. So what I have found out is that Metro, they have a service now. I forgot what it's called. But basically what happens is you can call them, right? And I don't know what it is. If y'all do this, y'all probably already know. Where you set it up and Metro will pick you up in front of your house. Now, this is Metro. We're in Cincinnati, Ohio. So the public bus service here is called, the public transportation here is called Metro, right? So if you're in another state, whatever your public transportation service is called, right? Look into them and see. They have services. I know they just started here in Cincinnati, Ohio, where they will pick you up in front of your house and drop you off exactly where you want to go, right? And they will do that for, I think it's like $1, $2. No, I think it's maybe $2, $3, right? For $2 or $3, they will pick you up in front of your house and take you literally to your destination. So while we got a lot of people down here getting on public, like the regular public transportation, and y'all taking 2 and 3 buses, right? Now, I don't think they service. I know here in Cincinnati, they're not servicing all areas yet. So just check and see if they're servicing your area, right? And if they're not, look into other resources that may be doing the same thing. A lot of us have health cards, right? So looking to call your health card, your medical card, right? You can use their transportation services for like when the kids got an appointment, things of that nature, so see if it's other different ways that you can utilize transportation as well. So I'm just giving y'all different tips when it comes to environment, when people say what they can't do, because Queen A is all about I'm sorry, guys. I apologize. I'm sorry. Not sorry, but I apologize. So, because if y'all don't know, Queen A is all about what you can do, not about what you can't do, okay? That's why I'm a clarity coach. I am a life coach, but I love to say clarity coach because I like to give it to you straight, right? Simplicity. That's what it is for me. Clarity. All right. And here we focus on, a lot of things that a lot of people don't want to talk about. That's why I'm Queen A. All right, so the next one we're going to go into is family issues. So we hear this a lot where, a lot of people simply confidence level is not right because their family is not supporting them. So let me tell you, I was doing an exercise with youth. I did an event and I was down there and I was helping the youth out and I was teaching my 13 principles to the youth. And one of the things was about confidence and about why asking them questions ask them to come up with at least one reason why they felt like they was lacking confidence, and a lot of them said family issues, guys. A lot of them, these kids, they said, well, because my brother and sister said it's ugly, or my auntie, or not my auntie guys, but like they brother and sister said this, and they cousins, and it's like what they mama and daddy is like. Basically, they said what their family didn't do to support them, or how their brother or sister told them that something was ugly or nobody was going to ever buy their things. And I love that, because that really was a reflection of how a lot of adults feel, right? So how many adults have been going through things where it's a major promotion come up, and you up for that promotion, right? And you get it, you running, let's say you're running for it, and having family members that just like don't believe in you, or you talking to them and you so excited and they don't give you the same energy, right? It's the same thing. So, or you talking to somebody and you telling them your visions and your goals, right? And they just like, yeah, okay. And then they switch it and go to another subject, right? So what happens is a lot of adults, we start lacking confidence right there. Like, well, dang, they don't even believe in me. Like, we get an attitude, all types of things. So one of the things that I teach on is how to overcome family issues. So what I did was I talked to these youth, about, I told them that was their brother and sister job, right? I mean, how many of y'all out there got brothers and sisters, right? I got a brother, I got a sister. What's their job? Most of the time, to tell you that you're ugly, to tell you what you can't do, right? To mug you in your head. That's their job. That's what siblings do. So once I talked to these youth and I told them that, and then I asked them, I said, well, how many times have you called your brother and sister ugly? And told them what they can't do, and told them that you didn't like it. And then they just start smiling, right? It was like a reality check. Like they noticed, like, hold up, that is this a family thing. And like I had to explain to them, a lot of times when we having family issues, especially in that area, it's not because our family don't love us. It's not. So let me explain that. A lot of times when our family is telling us like what we're not capable of doing, and we should, stay in school, or graduate from this place. Now you should stay. I'm not saying don't stay in school, guys. So I'm just saying, but like they're telling you what your visions and what your goals should be, or how no, you should go run for that promotion. Don't quit your job right now. You don't have it, or we're gonna be head broke if you do that. We ain't gonna make it. When they're doing these things, they're doing that out of love. So I want y'all to understand, family is not doing that because they don't love you. They're doing that because they love you, because our brains are built naturally to protect us. So when we do anything that's going outside of the normal, guess what happens? Our mind starts coming up with man's different ways to protect us, telling us, no, don't do it. That's dangerous for you, right? Because you've never done it before. And that's what our family is doing for us. They're like, no, they're trying to protect us, right? So that's one way of family issues. So another form we have of family issues, like I had talked about before. So a lot of times what happens is nowadays, a lot of family is not family. Let's just face it. I mean, I grew up where my family, we slept together on the floor and we was always together, but now nobody wants to be around each other. I mean, you have a family event and instead of everybody say they coming, what happens? Everybody's like, well, who gonna be there? Because if he gonna be there or she gonna be there, I ain't coming, right? That's what the new family is now, right? Who gonna be there? Because so now what happens is a lot of people, it dims down their confidence, because a lot of people catch themselves picking and choosing, right? And if you know Queen A, I don't care what side of my family is, I don't do sides. I don't pick and choose. I don't do sides. I don't do the, well, he know. Right is right and wrong is wrong. Okay? So a lot of times we're having family issues because of things of that nature. Simply because, a lot of us are not raised, a lot of us don't want to be around each other. Especially a lot of adults don't get along now. So it's causing the kids not to get along. And a lot of the kids don't even know each other, right? So that's family issues too. And I don't know if y'all understand, but they can be depressing, especially in a world full of what I love to say, a world full of lies, right? Where everybody's looking online and everybody's looking and seeing these happy families online, like everybody's just happy, gory, and nobody's seeing the real. So that could be one of the things that keeps us from being confident too. And that's one of the big ones too, is family issues, because a lot of people don't even want to accomplish their goals or even, start another dream because, my mama got this big goal and my mama got this dream and my mama always wanted me to be a doctor. So if I don't become a doctor, I'm going to disappoint mom. right? Or my dad always wanted me to do this and, take over the business just like him. But if I don't do it, I'm going to disappoint dad. So that could be family issues. That could be stressful, right? That can make you lack confidence as well. So we talk about things of that issues. And I want to understand because, like, as far as me, I have a business, right? SB Sins. But I do business as Queen A. Now, my youth, they are a part of my business, right? But I don't want it to ever become a part of where they feeling like they gonna disappoint me if they don't do something according to the business, right? Because yes, I want them to be a part of this business, right? Yes, I want them to aspire and to love it and to take over it. That is every parent's dream, but it might not really be their dream. So as parents or as individuals, we have to understand that just because we have a dream, that don't mean that that's the dream for our significant other, or that's the dream for our youth, right? So we just have to understand that, right? We can't expect them to want to take over. Now, it would be nice if they did, and we want to mold them for that. But we also have to respect the fact if they say, you know what, I want to start my own company now, and I just want to help out a little bit when I can. Okay. So respect that as well. So that means that if you was a mom or whatever, or a dad, and you always wanted your child to be a nurse, and your child don't want to be a nurse, and they go out and they be a construction worker, right? Mom or dad, don't feel bad, right? Don't feel disappointed. Feel glad, actually, and feel excited. You know why? Because they actually thought for themselves and took over and proceeded doing their own thing, right? They did what they seen best for their self. That lets you know that they're in control of their mind and that they're in control of their visions and their goals. And that's what you want. Because if you raise and mold a child, what you don't want is for a child to be molded and raised, to take over your business or to be that nurse that you wanted them to be and be miserable, right? I know people that's in the field because, that's what they just did because that's what everybody expected them to do or that was the thing to do, and they're miserable. Yeah, they make good money, but they're miserable. So I want to teach you how to make money or how to have a happy family or do whatever and be happy. Do it with clarity. Be happy, okay? So that's family issues. Now we talk about financial issues. Oh, where to start with financial issues, right? Oh my gosh. So financial issues can be a big one when it comes to having confidence. A lot of people don't have confidence if they're making minimum wage per se, or a lot of people don't have confidence if they're working at McDonald's per se, right? If you're a lot of 50-year-olds working at McDonald's lack confidence. I mean, I'm not saying that that's something but let's just face it. Like, if you ask a lot of them that put their hard work in and they've been McDonald's for 15 years and, and they got a big dream, but you tell them, like, why you ain't do that? They gonna say, shoot, because I've been here, shoot, my 401k kicked in, shoot, I gotta make sure I do this, and shoot, I get to retire in 10 more years or whatever it is, right? They gonna be excited about that. But then if you ask them, well, what is it that you always wanted to do? They gonna give you this big old vision and big old dream. And when you ask them why they ain't doing it, it's because they feel like they have to, we have been programmed to feel like we're stuck. We comfortable, right? So when you get comfortable with something, you don't want to outdo that. That's guaranteed money, right? People was like, well, this guaranteed money. I know if I come to work, I'm gonna get a check. If I step out on my own and be an entrepreneur, I ain't guaranteed to get no check. Let me explain something to y'all. Newsflash, you are guaranteed to get a check if you are genuine about what you do and you really put in the effort. So that means when I say get a check, it don't have to be an entrepreneur. If you're working at McDonald's and you aspire to have bigger things and greater things, yes, you can apply for a bigger position. Maybe you just have to take some different courses online. Maybe you have to get a certification in a certain area. But these are things that a lot of people don't want to do because it's more comfortable to just get up and go to McDonald's every day and flip a burger, right? I don't have to take a training for that. I don't need a degree for that, right? So a lot of times we are having financial issues because simply of either we're unaware right? A lot of us are unaware. Like I was unaware because I wasn't taught about credit. Let's just face it. I was never taught about credit, you know? So, and I was just done with money. I would just put it out there. I was just done with money. Like what? So it wasn't until I actually got in tune with myself and really what I wanted to do and what goals I wanted to aspire to accomplish that I actually started saying, okay, well, if I want to accomplish this goal, right, I got to take care of my financial issues. I got to stop being careless about my credit. I can't be careless about my credit and I want to be the top clarity coach in the world. I can't be, out here having drama with the family every day, all day, and I'm the top clarity coach in the world. I can't be out here in a negative environment every day, all day, if I want to be the top clarity coach in the world, right? So these are things that we have to start asking ourselves. And a lot of times we have the issues not because we can't change it. It's because a lot of us simply don't want to do the research, to reach out there. And then a lot of us, what we do is we research. So a lot of us know how to overcome our finances, right? How many people know they got to fix their credit if they want to, but how many people actually take the steps to do it and accomplish it? Crickets, right? So these are things that we actually talk about. So these are situations that you're living with that's real, right? So that is why this is the negative aspect of it. So these is what we help you identify with first, because if you want to get confident, if you want to get clarity, if you want to overcome any dream and any goal, first we got to find out what's keeping you from doing it. What is it? I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a computer issue. I mean, it could be something simple as maybe you are a computer freak and your computer down now, right? So let's say maybe you have internet problems. It could be something as simple as internet trouble, right? So it could be something as simple as internet trouble. So I'm gonna tell you how we break all this stuff down and give you clarity so you can see that a lot of things that we're telling ourselves we can't do, we can do. A lot of times we stuck in the same environment because that's where we want to be. We want to pay $25 in rent. We scared to pay more, right? Let's just face it. A lot of people are just scared to pay more to get out of a certain environment. We are having family issues because a lot of people scared to come together in a family and talk about it genuinely, right? We having financial issues because a lot of people are scared to seek out the resources, or when they seek out the resources, they don't want to take the steps to even get clean credit. We having relationship issues because nowadays nobody values a relationship. And when I say nobody, guys, I'm not saying everybody in the world, okay? So what I mean when I say nobody is mostly, okay? So most of the people nowadays, we have relationship issues because nobody really values relationship no more. A lot of people don't really know what a relationship is, right? Meaning nobody is communicating no more. Everybody's worried about, what Facebook tells you a relationship is instead of genuinely communicating, talking, communicating without the phone, being in person, spending that time, right? So, because time, if you're in a relationship, you should be spending time with each other. You should be communicating with each other. These are things you should be doing, talking to each other. Why should you be communicating? Because if y'all don't know what each other expect of each other, right? If I don't know what you expect of me and you don't know what, I expect of you or whatever, vice versa, guess what? We're going to keep bumping into each other and have relationship issues. And let's say if we communicate that and nobody takes it into consideration, just like, well, I'm going to do what I want to do. You're going to keep having relationship issues because a relationship is about trust, about coming together. It's about unity. A lot of people don't have unity no more in a relationship. A lot of women feeling like, and I'm a woman, but I hear a lot of women saying this and I feel sad. A lot of women feel like a man got to make a certain amount of money or he can't be with me. If he ain't making this, I don't want to be with him. If he ain't doing this, I don't want, but you ain't even doing it. A lot of y'all ain't even doing it. Y'all staying in low income housing, scared that they gonna take your food stamps, you know what I mean? And I want y'all to understand why we are in certain issues. So I want y'all to understand I'm a woman, but at the same time, I understand. And then we have a lot of men out here in relationship issues, right? Because a lot of men out here feeling like, well, I'm the man, so she got to do what I tell her to do, right? The macho, right? So we got to come out of the macho era, right? It's okay. Because one thing I want to tell a man and a woman, right? A man will submit to a woman that is genuine, and just like a woman will submit to a man that's genuine. So submit don't comes with me telling you to submit or you telling me to submit. Submit is something that naturally happens. Submission comes from communication. Submission comes from you all taking the time to get to know each other. Submission comes from spending that quality time. Submission comes from understanding what our likes and dislikes and our wants and stuff are, right? So we have to understand these things, right? A lot of times we're in relationships and we're requesting things that we not even are, you know? So, and that go for a man and a woman, right? Because men say, well, I don't want a woman if she got all these baby daddies. I don't want her. But meanwhile, on the flip side, you got 80 million kids and you ain't even taking care of. You just playing stepdaddy. So we got to understand it's a lot of things that come with relationship issues, and I can talk about these things all day, right? So then the next one we go into is we say pet issues. So let's say we have animal lovers out here, like my mom and my daughter, they are animal lovers, right? So if something was to happen to their pet, they would not be right. They just would not be as confident as they was the day before, just because they are pet lovers, okay? So things of that nature, right? How many times have y'all seen a post and somebody's just like crying or devastated because their pet died, right? In that moment, they're lacking a little bit of confidence, okay? So I want you to understand that. Internet trouble. So this is a good one. I want to go over this because internet trouble is something that a lot of people nowadays will freak out about if they didn't have, right? If we didn't have internet right now, a lot of us would go crazy. I wouldn't be doing this live right here. Y'all wouldn't be on Facebook. And let's face it, a lot of us, when we can't get on Facebook, we want like, oh, did it happen to you? Did your Facebook go down? Did your internet go down today? Right? A lot of times, internet trouble, when we have that, we are going through a whole lot of things. We feel like, well, you know, I don't got access to nothing, so I can't do nothing. I don't got the internet, so I can't get help with nothing. I don't got internet, so I can't take no training courses. I don't have the internet, so I can't look up this. Well, I don't know if y'all know, which I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all is aware, but I'm gonna tell y'all anyway, that the library offers internet service for free. And you can go to the library if you're really genuine about doing whatever it is that you want to be more confident about. If you're really genuine about it and you need the internet to do it and you're having internet trouble, you'll go to the library and get it done. So the internet offer free services. It's other places that offer free services for the internet. Okay. So please don't let the internet stop you when you have rec centers and all different type of things that will help you in that area. Okay. So now that is the negative aspect of it. So now we are going to go over here and we are going to talk about what we do to overcome any of these issues. So what we're going to talk about over here, these things will be used to accomplish, to overcome any of these. I don't care if you're having environmental issues. I don't care if you're having family issues. I don't care if you're having financial issues. I don't care if you're having relationship issues, pet issues, or internet trouble. The things we're going to go over on this side right here, the positive side of the LWRS system, is what's going to help you overcome this and get more confident with yourself, okay? And this is why this is the first thing we go over, because in order to get confident to accomplish any of the other things I teach on, any of the other principles, we have to overcome this. We have to identify this area, the negative side, so we can come over here to the positive side. So the positive part of the LWRS system is, who are you listening to that's positive, right? So it's about, the L stands for listening, right? Listening. My bad, y'all. The W stands for, so it's who are you listening to? Who are you? What are you? So we got listening to. All right. Just gonna write them all out for you. R is for, we got the S for speaking. All right. So I'm just gonna put the 2 right here. 2. All right. Do a second. All right. So right here on the positive side of the LWRS system, what I teach is that if you focus on these 4 things when you first get up in the morning, right? So we're not going to do these things. I mean, we're going to do them throughout the day, but their most important time to do these is when you first get up in the morning, right? So I'm going to put first thing in morning, okay? All right, I'm gonna put a smiley face right here. And over here, we're gonna put a sad face because that's what's keeping us from being confident, okay? So now, right here, what we have is the L is listening. So what are you listening to when you first get up in the morning, guys? So I mean, when you first open your eyes, what kind of things are you listening to? So are you listening to something positive? Or when you first get up in the morning, are you running to Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and looking at all this drama and fighting and, you know, all this death and things of that nature, right? What happens is if the first thing you do is get up and you're listening to something with drama and aggravating. Now, remember, I always teach and I talk about, so I won't go over this too much right now because I talk about this heavily, about how our brain is a sponge, okay? So if you've been watching me, you know about the sponge effect, about how our brain absorbs whatever you put in it, just like a sponge. So if you fill a sponge up with water or milk or orange juice or whatever, pick a liquid, I don't care. You fill it up with it, what's going to happen is soon as the sponge get full and it can't hold no more, it's going to spill out and overflow with whatever you had in the sponge, right? So if you're listening to danger and drama when you first get up in the morning, of course, that's what's going to spill out your brain the rest of the day, right? That's just what you're going to input. This is what you're going to pick up on because our brain picks up on what we put into it, right? So, but on the flip side, if you're listening to something positive when you first get up, like an audio book, right? Or you're listening to motivational quotes, motivational videos, you're listening to inspirational videos, right? Or you're listening to something positive, what will happen is you will start to notice positive things spill out because what we put in our minds spills out. Okay, so we put positivity in our brain when we first get up in the morning. And I love to do this because a demonstration that I do with the youth is how many times, like just think of a song, right? Let's say you listen to rap, right? I'm just gonna use rap because I grew up on rap, so I'm gonna use rap. So let's say you listen to rap and you listen to like, I wish you more would. Y'all know how y'all do. Y'all listen to face and y'all face get tuned up and you listen to songs like I wish somebody would and how you would put somebody to sleep and all that. Now, let's say you listen to this stuff when you first get up. So now when you go outside and somebody accidentally bumps into you, what happens? You already on I wish a nigga would mode, right? So now you already aggravated, you already got that in your mind because you was already wishing somebody would. So when somebody accidentally bumps into you, you're going to be more prone to go off like, man, like watch what you're doing, right? Versus if you got up first thing in the morning and you was listening to something positive when you first got up in the morning. I'm talking about like an inspirational video, a motivational video, a positive audio book, right? What will happen is when you go out here and somebody accidentally bumps into you, you will be more prone to say, you know what, don't worry about it. It's okay. Why? Because you already put yourself in a positive headspace, right? You've already put yourself in that space to say, it's okay, right? You was already thinking that. So let's go to the next one. Watching. What are you watching when you first get up, right? What are you watching? So this goes back to, like I say, they have, you can listen to motivational books, you can listen to audio books, you can do all this, but what are you watching? So most of us, first thing we do when we get in the morning, we pick our phone up and we're looking at it, visually looking at it. But what kind of things are you visually looking at on your phone? So what are you watching when you first get up? So when I get up, I love to watch inspirational videos, right? I love to watch inspirational videos. I love to watch motivational videos. That's just something I love to watch. That's one of the things I like to watch when I first get up. So what are you watching? If first thing, like I said, if you're getting up in the morning and like I talked about, if you're listening to drama, if you're listening to, you first go on Facebook and you know all this different things, right? Because let's face it, you can listen to different things on Facebook as well. So, but if you're watching The same thing, if you get up and the first thing you're doing is, you know what, I'm going on YouTube and I like to watch this drama channel. They be killing me. They be cracking me up because they always having drama. I'm going to always watch these fighting videos every day I get up. And you wondering why drama keeps coming. Why you keep noticing drama. Everything around you is drama. The only thing pops up on your news feed is drama. You don't have nothing positive, right? Because why? The environment picks up on what we put in our brains. What we put in our brains, the environment naturally picks up on and gives us what we put in it. Okay? So that's why if on the flip side, if you was getting up and you was watching something positive in the morning, you get amped. So now what happens is, let's say you're watching something. What are you actually doing when you're watching something positive? You're actually watching and you're listening to it if it has an audio to it. So if you're watching something positive and you're speaking, you're doing two things. Now you're giving yourself 2 for 1. You like, you know what? I'm listening to something and I'm watching something positive all in one. So now what happens? Now, like I said, our brain picks up what we put in it. So now you just put double. Did you put double in your brain? Oh my gosh. You got double positivity going on here. Like, right? You listening to something and you watching something at the same time. So now you got 2 senses going on right here in one. So now let's say, what are you reading first thing in the morning? What are you taking the time to read when you first get up in the morning? Or are you reading Facebook all day, Instagram all day? Is that the only thing you read? Or are you actually picking up a book? If you are picking up a book, what kind of book is it that you're reading? That makes a difference, right? Why? Because like I keep saying, what you put in your brain is what the environment is going to give you and dish out. So it's very important to be reading something positive as well. Also, when you're reading something positive, guess what else you're doing? You're actually watching it as well. So when you're reading the pages, I love to teach on this. So when we're reading the pages, what happens is your mind is not only reading it, but you're watching it. So now you're processing it twice because you're reading it. It's like watching a script. I love to say that, right? So when you're reading, you're actually watching as well. So you're utilizing 2 different senses at once. You're making your memory stronger when you're reading, especially if you read out loud, because you're listening to yourself and you're watching all in one. Okay? So you're listening, you're watching, you're reading, and you're speaking to somebody, listening, watching, and reading. Okay? So let's go on to speaking. So now right here, speaking. Who are you speaking to first thing in the morning? You know, and like I said, remember, that's why we got right here, first thing in the morning. So these are things that you're going to do when you first get up. We ain't talking about waiting until 3 in the afternoon to decide to speak to somebody positive, right? We ain't talking about wait till 4, or when you're about to go to bed to decide, you know what? I've been watching drama all day. Now let me watch something positive. Reason why I say when you first get up in the morning is because you are setting the tone for your day. So when you first get up in the morning, what you put in your mind is you setting the tone for your day. So I'll tell you for me, what does that look like? When I first get up in the morning. So one of the first things I do when I get up in the morning, I got my tea going. So I love making me some tea. I have me some tea with some honey in it. I love my tea. I drink different types of teas. It could be elderberry. It could be, turmeric. It's just whatever I decide, whatever is open. So I go through one box at a time. I think I'm on chamomile now. So I have my tea in the mornings and then I have a fruit. So I'm actually right here by my fruit thing. So I have some fruit in the morning. So I have my tea and fruit when I first get up in the morning. I also read. So I read a book. So now what I am doing now is I am challenging myself to read for at least an hour a day. Because I would just read whatever I felt like reading. And then I would be like, okay, I got that. Or I maybe read a chapter or 2, maybe 3. But what I'm learning is once I put myself to reading for like an hour a day, I see why they say you can read so many books in a year. Because if you read for an hour a day, you don't realize how much you actually read. So like I read a book just by reading an hour a day in 2 days. So, I just wanted to give y'all that right there. That's a little tip as well. So when you're reading, you are doing these things. So speaking, like I said, when you first speak to somebody, who are you speaking to when you first get up? That makes a difference. I'll tell you. So a lot of y'all don't call cousin, the cousin little Tukey that y'all know be in drama all day when you first get up. Don't call them. Don't call Miss Mary that y'all know always got something to talk about in everybody's business. Don't call them when you first get up and get the scoop. Not when you first get up. Give yourself some hours, right? We all know that one person that just got the scoop for everything. All right. Don't call them when you first get up. All right. So now I love talking about the listening, watching, reading, and speaking to. So if you're doing these things when you first get up in the morning, guess what? If you're listening to something positive, right, and you're watching something positive, or you're reading or speaking, and you're doing these things every single day, guess what's going to happen to your confidence? Let's go here to the negative aspect. Your environment that you're in, if it's drama and it's not where you want to be, it will not look good anymore, right? Your environment it ain't gonna look good no more. Newsflash, I can tell y'all, it's not gonna look good no more. You gonna want to start changing your environment off top, because you're gonna be like, you know what? I deserve much better. You gonna start noticing how much more you deserve just by doing these things right here. Because if you're listening to something positive, you're watching something positive, you're reading something positive, you're speaking to somebody positive every day, guess what? You're going to hear inspirational stories. You're going to hear how other people built their confidence up. You're going to hear how you're going to get tested. People are going to start challenging you to be a better individual. So that's going to help you automatically change your environment. You're going to start speaking to different people. You're going to start going visit different environments. You're going to change your environment immediately. Okay. Also, if you're having family issues, if you're listening, watching, reading, or speaking to somebody positive, you're going to learn how to handle your family issues in a way that you don't hold people accountable. So one of the things I teach on, and I love saying this, is a lot of times we have family issues because we hold a lot of people more, we hold them on a higher standard than what they are. So sometimes we got to take stuff for what it is and realize, that sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. Other times there are. If there are, maybe you can go and y'all gonna have a family meeting, a family sit down. I'm one of them people, I tried it with my family, right? So maybe y'all can have a family sit down and see how y'all can work things out. And also understand sometimes it's okay to agree to disagree. So maybe you like, okay, y'all come together as a family, y'all still can't agree. Maybe y'all can just say, okay, well, we can't agree, but we're not going to I'm not going to be angry when I see you. No, we can still speak. We just don't have to be around each other all the time. That's perfectly fine, And if you have them families where maybe it's just too bad and it's deeply rooted, maybe you go see a therapist or psychiatrist. Because like I said, I'm not for deep-seated rooted issues. So I'm for it once you overcome that and you're trying to get yourself to the next level, okay? So if you're having deep-seated rooted family issues, reach out to me. I actually have a referral I can give you, and I can help you with that as well. So, but that'll actually also be in this category. You'll be speaking to somebody positive, and they'll help you overcome that. And like I said, so that's going to help you overcome your family issues. That's why I say if you're doing these things, you're going to start checking these things off. It's going to be like, you're going to learn. Like me, I had to learn. With family, you just have to learn how to deal with people on different levels, and that's okay. Right? That don't mean I love them no different. No, I just deal with people on different levels, and I have learned that that's okay. Okay, and you have to do that as well. And that's one of the things we teach as well. Financial issues. If you're listening, watching, reading, and speaking to somebody or something positive, your financial issues are going to start dwindling. Why? Because you're going to start hearing ways to overcome them, right? Because if you're speaking to somebody, guess what? Eventually if you're doing these things and you're knocking stuff off, eventually you're going to start watching videos on how to overcome financial issues. Eventually you're going to start reaching out to people about how to overcome financial issues, right? So you'll check that out. Now, if you're listening, watching, reading, and speaking to somebody positive every day, when you first get up, your relationship issues will change drastically. Why? You will then get a better understanding of who you are and how to handle communication, how to communicate better, and also to understand if that relationship that you're in is even best for you, okay? So I can't determine it. Only you can determine it. But there are always signs. So sometimes we try to hold on to some people that are just, meant to be our friend, and that's okay. So we have to be okay with that. You know, so y'all have to understand. Sometimes we're holding on to relationships and that's not really a relationship. So maybe you're in a relationship and let's just say one of the big things for you is time. And the person can't give you time no matter what. And it's like, you know what, no matter what I do and what I say, they just won't give me no time. Like, you know, and they get an excuse after excuse, you know, maybe that's just not for you, you know, because one of the things now, if they're genuinely busy, that's okay. But if they're making time for other things and they're not making time for you, maybe that's one of the things you can talk about and shoe on the other foot. So if you're making time for other things and you're not making time for your significant other, maybe they need to look at that you might not be best for them. Okay. So you'll start checking that off as well. Okay. So you'll learn how to overcome that. You'll also check out pet issues because you know, guess what? When you doing these things, you eventually these things will lead you to look up things for these things. Okay. So when you're doing these things, you'll get curious, like, I'm having pet issues. Let me look up why my dog is always vomiting. You know, let me look up resources to help me with animal care, right? So let me look up, you know, resources for internet trouble. So these things will help you check off these things, right? So that is one of the ways that you can help manage your stress. So if you've been stressful, first you need to identify why you're stressful, right? Is it your environment? Meaning environment can be people, places, and things, right? So are you having the environment you're in? Are you having family issues? Are you having financial issues? Are you having relationship issues, pet issues, and so on, okay? So these are things we have to learn how to overcome right here, okay? And once you identify it, even before, like, so first thing you do is identify, right? But even if you're like, you know, I'm not sure, and it's taking you a while to do that, first thing you do is start doing this. Because this is going to help you identify this. Once you start listening to something positive, watching something positive, reading something positive, speaking to somebody positive, you're going to understand what's keeping you from being confident, okay? But you have to do it first thing in the morning. All right, so I hope y'all got something from this. Share this video. Also, don't forget you can also donate to me as well by clicking on the barcode, like put it on your camera, click on that if you ever want to donate. And share this video with somebody else. I hope y'all got something from this. If you did get something from this, let me know in the comments what you got from it, whether you loved it or, you know, whatever. How I can improve. I would love to hear back from you. And if nobody else loves you, Queen A does. Later.